Hello dear creatives, welcome to another interesting online tutorial. I'm so excited to have you back, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make a beautiful embellishment using crinoline for your turban. Now you can call this a turbanator because crinoline is a material that's mostly used to make fascinators. So most times the combination of a turban and fascinator is called a turbanator. So if that is what you choose to call this, so be it. All about in this class is that you are going to learn how to create a beautiful embellishment for your turban cap. Like I said, this is an advanced class and I already have my turban cap right here. And if you do not know how to make a turban cap, then you need the foundational or the beginners class. Just go ahead and send me a message so you can know how to create your turban. But of course, this class is basically about embellishment, not the turban base. So here are the materials I'm going to need for this project. I have my crinoline, and this crinoline right here is 6 inches wide. It's 6 inches wide. Can you see that? Awesome. So we have another type that is smaller than this. We have the 3 inches. We even have the one that is wider, which is 7 inches. But in this case, we are using the 6 inches crinoline. And I have my sugar lace right here. It's a type of trimming. There are different types of trimming actually. You can use any type. What we are just trying to do is to come up with a unique design, different from the regular, that you can use to spice up your turban. And of course, you want to always create something different for your customers so that they can keep coming back. So that is that about the crinoline and the sugar lace. And I have another type of trimming right here, which I'm going to be using as well. All of this will be used to embellish my crinoline. And I have my UHU. You'll be wondering, what do I need the UHU for? Of course, I'm going to be using the UHU to glue my ribbon. Okay, so you can say, I can't find this in my area. Anything at all can be used, as long as that can cover the edges of the crinoline on two sides. What I want to do now is to ensure that I encase the edges. I don't want to leave my edges bare like this because it's the part of the embellishments of the crinoline. So, and here, right here, I have different types of pearls, rhinestone, I have sequins right here. All of this just to embellish my crinoline. And the most important is the rubber wire right here. This wire comes in rows like this, okay, and it's mostly used to wire the fascinator or the hat. So you can get this. Please listen attentively so you don't ask, where am I going to get this? You can get this at the fascinator material store near you. That is where you can get this. So anywhere they sell materials for fascinator is where you will get this transparent wire. You can just do a screenshot as I'm holding it up right here so you can show the vendor. And I have my scissors right here, and of course you'll be needing your needle and thread for tacking. I'm not forgetting my hot glue gun because you need to glue some pieces together, glue your pearls and all of that. So enough of the introduction, let's jump right into the tutorial because I know you cannot wait. I myself cannot wait to see the outcome of this. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to tape the edges of my crinoline using this ribbon right here, or you can call this a bias. Whatever you want to call it is fine, because of course we have different names for different materials in different parts of the world. So some call it shiny trimming, shiny bias, ribbon, whatever it says, but of course you already understand and you've seen what it looks like. And this is why I have my UHU gun. I already have this other edge covered, and I'm going to cover up the other side. Now, one thing you want to note is by the time you are done gluing, you can still decide to take this to your sewing machine and sew it all up on both edges right here. Okay, so it's covered front and back, and that is just the same process I'm going to be following, and I'm just going to show you what I did very quickly so you can go ahead and start creating yours. So I open my UHU and then I apply some glue to the edges right there. You want to ensure that your glue does not exceed or pass the area where your ribbon is going to cover up. Okay, you see that? So you don't want it to extend inward too much. So I apply my glue all the way, and UHU is stronger when it's a little bit dry. So by the time you apply, you want to leave it to dry a little before you start to cover up using your ribbon. So after applying like this, I'm going to leave it for a while, just a little while, let's say about 15 to 20 seconds, not minutes please, because it's going to dry off in 20 minutes. Okay, so you leave it to dry. But what I like to do is I like to apply it, let it go inward a little, like let me cover up some length, so that by the time I'm covering up, I will just continue to cover up all the way. So that is just what I'm doing, and ensure that your UHU does not stain the body parts of your crinoline or your crinoline. Okay, so that is it. I'll leave it to dry, and then I'm going to show you how to quickly cover up using your ribbon. So this is what I have right here. Now I remember I did not tell you the measurement of this crinoline. So if you want to get the exact outcome of what I'm going to be getting after this tutorial, I need to show you the measurement. So this measurement is 60 inches long. I've actually measured it before, but it skipped my mind. So it's 60 inches long. It's actually 60 inches long. So okay, hold on, let me clear my table so I can just measure for you to see. All right, so from here all the way down, okay, so it's just 59.5 actually. Can you see that? Almost 60. So if you have 60 inches, it's not bad. It's still going to give you the same outcome. So I'll put this aside right there, and then I'm going to work on my plastic wire. So this wire right here, I'm going to measure it to be 46 inches. So 46 inches, and I have my pearls right here, and I have my sequins right here. White pearls, size 8. This is size 8, and the holes inside are quite big, so, and which means that this can fit into it perfectly. Can you see that? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my hot glue, because I'm going to be using my hot glue to ensure that the pearls and the sequins stay at the places where I want them to stay. So now I'm ready. I'm going to be inserting the sequins together with the pearls. So I'm just going to arrange this as I think it will look nice. You don't have to follow a particular order. Just ensure that your design is looking very nice and beautiful. So I have my sequins. The whole of the sequins is equally big, and this pipe can pass right through it, just like that. Can you see? So I push it through, and this is tight. It doesn't require any glue to hold it in place, because the hole is not as big as the pearls. Can you see that? So let's just say I have 2 of this sequins and 1 of the pearl. So I pass it through all the way. So depending on where I want my pearl to sit, I'm going to apply just a little glue on the pipe, like so, and pass my pearl right through it, and it's going to hold in place like that. Can you see that? Awesome. So I'm going to insert my sequins again, 2, then I pass it down. I'm doing this because I have more of the sequins than the pearls. So this is all I have. The other pearls I have, they are ivory color, like they are cream color. So I don't want to mix ivory with white. I want everything to be white and silver. So I apply some glue like so, and then I run my pearl through that glue for it to stay. Can you see that? Awesome. So this is the process I'm going to continue until I get to the end of this pipe. So I'm done with this, and I'm going to bind this together into circles. So just watch me as I arrange this. I'm going to just put this together. I want 3 circles actually. Let me see. Okay. So I have my thread, which I'm going to be using to bind this together. So you should get your thread ready. And another thing is you need to apply some glue, because this wire right here does not bind on time. You see how the glue just made the difference right there. Great. So you tie it after you apply your glue, so the glue helps it to hold in place, because the wire will always try to force its way open, so the glue would restrict it and make it stay in place. So I apply some glue and I tie over that glue. That's all. Very simple, isn't it? So now that I'm done tying, I'm just going to tie a knot and cut off my excess thread. I will tie the knot the second time and then cut the thread off. So I have my circles in 3 layers. This is layer 1, 2 and 3. Can you see how it looks on the side? So beautiful. So now let's go to our crinoline. So you also need to create your thread ahead, because you're going to be binding this together as well. So I'm trying to create my thread, and I have it into 4 lines so that it can be a little bit thick for me to use. Okay. Great. So I have my thread right there, and for this I'm going to be working with, let me see how many layers I can get with this. So I'm just creating a bow. Okay, so let me create a smaller bow right there. Okay. A small bow. And then another one underneath. Okay, let me extend the bow to be a little bit bigger. And the other one underneath is much bigger than the one on top of it. Don't worry, I'm going to arrange everything. I'm just trying to ensure that. Okay, so I'm going to tie binding all this together. So when you are done binding all of this together, I'm just going to cut off the excess thread, and then we can move on to the next stage. Now, sometimes you can decide to just bind this together with it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do, so that I won't have to be cutting the thread and having to repeat the process, when I can just use the same thread to bind both pieces together. So It's quite easy, actually, very, very easy to create. So you just have to think outside the box, just like I'm doing. So I'll continue to bind this together, and then I'll show you the outcome, then we can proceed. So this is what I have right here. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Now it's time for me to start embellishing my crinoline. I have my sugar lace, I have other trimmings right here. I even have this lace that I could use to, I'm just going to cut this patch out, and I can use this to embellish the whole body. And then I'm going to bling the crinoline all up, like a whole lot of bling everywhere, because I really want it to pop. So now it's time to get creative. Just go ahead and watch me, because I'm not going to be talking all through. I just need you to watch and see how I attach these blings. And of course, I have done all the explanations on what I'm going to do. All you need to do is watch and see how I put all these pieces together. Like I always say, you don't have to follow exact. Just copy the process and then replicate it as you deem fit, and do so creatively. So just watch me and enjoy the view. Now this is what I have right here. I'm done embellishing all of this. Can you see how beautiful it looked? I really took my time. I took my time to embellish this. So I wore the turban on the dummy head and I just pinned it to the place where I want it to be. So the next thing you want to do is to start to tag this down. So you go in and out until you have properly secured this to your turban base. So I'm going across the embellishments like so, and that is how I'm going to attach it to the base. So it's quite simple. So I'm just holding it down and I go in and out, and that's just it. So I'm going to continue to attach this, okay, and then when I'm done, all I need to do is to close up this upper part to ensure that all the threads and everything is just hidden. Okay, so tack until you are satisfied, and then you just cut off the excess thread. So finally, I'm going to use this embellishment to cover up the mid parts right here, and I'm going to use my hot glue to do that. So I apply some glue, and then I just cover up neatly. And then I cover the back as well. So I have a little bit of excess right there, which I'm going to cut off. And then I apply the glue so I can finish this up. And there you have it. Can you see how it looks? So beautiful, gorgeous, and stunning. So I look forward to seeing your own design. Please note that this video is not for resale. If anyone is caught selling this video, legal actions will be taken. This video has been put together for a token for your personal use. So go ahead and get creative. Do something beautiful. Don't forget to post and also tag me on your post if you want me to see your beautiful designs. And you can also send your pictures to class so that I can see them and make correction if necessary. So my name is Adiola once again. I'm glad to put this together and I hope to see your practical. I'll see you in my next class. Bye for now.